It's titled Nightmare on Ice and was authored by John S. Glasby and originally was published in Supernatural Stories in 1963. The pseudonym used then was Peter Laneham. Alright, so the story features five men living at a research station miles from civilization in the Arctic. There's three scientists, a mechanic, and a meteorologist. Inside this base sits three main buildings, and each of the tiny buildings is connected by a dark, narrow tunnel. So there's the lab, the living quarters, and then the storehouse. One of the guys mentions that he can hear animal noises outside the doors, which is unusual considering the area is in a heavy, thunderous blizzard. Days later, one of the men is alone in the storeroom and hears scratching at the outside door. Really scary stuff here with this isolated atmosphere, the temperature being like 60 below zero. Nothing alive should be outside those doors. The man opens the door, he begins screaming, and then the reader is left guessing at his demise. This sort of thing plays out again with a different guy on the team, so then that leaves just three survivors, and then things get really, really creepy. Days later, one of the men tells the others that through the window, he saw both of the dead men standing out in the snow. Whoa. There's discussion among the men that ancient people in that area believed something supernatural lived in the ice or sort of embodied the ice. Needless to say, things happen, and eventually we're left with one survivor who's armed with a gun and basically just hanging on to his own sanity, knowing he's the next victim. But what is the thing in the ice? Is it a ghost? A creature? Is it the devil himself? I like that Glasby leaves it all subjective. There is an ending to the story, but it sort of leaves it loose. I love books set in snowy places or in blizzards. One of my favorite horror films is John Carpenter's The Thing, and this book had some serious The Thing vibes, which in itself was based on a 1938 novella called Who Goes There. It's mostly what I consider a horror story, but I guess you could lump the story in as science fiction with the possibility that the evil thing is from another world or planet. Regardless of whatever genre you want to call it, this was a great reading experience.